come down to the Department of Home Affairs. With me is the governor of the prison, and this is sort of leading on from we've got a press release, and it's also in the Isle of Man newspapers today about what's going on at the prison. We talked to you in general at the press conference, but clearly now this human rights thing has come up again, and an advocate who's representing his client has made various allegations of something, and he wants something done. Over to you first of all. Can you just give an outline of what's going on?
Yes, the starting position for this was us getting a number of prisoners who have broken the emergency powers, quite a number. We were around a dozen. And it was more than we had planned for in the isolation wing, so we had to reconfigure the jail and designate a new part of the prison, B wing, which you've been to, Paul, as the isolation wing. We locked it down, as is the condition in the UK prisons at the moment, which meant that they had very little contact outside of their cell. They would receive their meals. The cell is, as you know, has a toilet in it, has a wash basin, has washing facilities. Prisoners as they come in would get a shower and a telephone call, but it was actually quite limited in the first instance. But we are in unprecedented times, and my staff are there next to healthcare staff in full PPE, shoulder to shoulder, trying to manage this risk. One of the prisoners who came in we knew had tested positive. Two had been at a social do with him, so we had to presume that all of them were positive. So we had to actually isolate them all from each other.
What's been coming up, of course, is business about human rights. I think we touched on that on the press conference, but this is certainly, as far as this advocate's concerned, he's getting the Ministry of Justice in the UK involved because you are violating human rights.
The balance has to be struck between the rights of the staff and the other prisoners. We have prisoners who are over 70, and staff indeed. We have prisoners with underlying health problems. If this is about access to a telephone and a shower as opposed to life, I know where I will put the emphasis. Prisons in the UK have had prisoners and staff die. We have prevented at the moment, to the best of our belief, this virus getting into our jail, getting into the main part of the jail, but it was certainly on B wing. And my duty of care to the staff and the other offenders overrides anything like this.
So take us through, has there been any cross-contamination since this one prisoner that you knew was positive? Because I think I asked you on the press conference about, does everyone get tested going in? And your answer was no, which I think was quite a surprise to some people. Is that, again, you can't do it? Is it not allowed or whatever?
He'd already been tested, so we knew he was positive, but no, I would be much happier if everyone was tested. We do have testing arrangements for our staff because they're key workers, they're on the front line, and the staff have responded magnificently. But they are not sitting in their armchairs firing off emails. They are there face to face on the front line with a risk that can kill people, and I will give them every bit of support that I can to minimise that risk.
So everyone that's going in gets put into this isolation wing, 14 days with some exercise, I presume, in there, is there, or is it locked down completely?
No, it's now built in. We've relaxed it because initially we locked down really tight. On the other wings, they get out every day, access to exercise, to showers, to telephones. But on this particular wing, initially it was a lockdown. But since that, we've relaxed it. They get access to showers, they get access to exercise, and they get access to telephones. But it's much easier to keep something tight and then relax it than the other way round. And I would rather be explaining to someone why I didn't give someone a telephone call when they demanded it or a shower, rather than a coroner about why I might have let something that could kill people into my prison.
So are you almost accepting there was an issue there with this particular prisoner? I mean, hence this letter from the lawyer?
Yeah, he didn't get the access that we would normally give prisoners. Yes, I accept that entirely. But equally, as soon as he got onto another wing and we offered him a shower, he refused it. So the detail of this will be in the letter back to the solicitor. But the solicitor wrote to the minister on Friday and gave the minister, one of our elected officials, a deadline of Monday lunchtime to respond to, otherwise they would go public. I find that incredible.
So he has gone public, and you're replying to that now. Is there anything more in this story? I mean, you say you've now changed the procedures. Is what is happened there finished, so it shouldn't come up again?
Yeah, we relaxed the procedures, not because of the advocate, but because we were reviewing it on a daily basis. Our whole agenda has changed, our attendance patterns, our regime, everything we do. And there's something I really want to say, is that this advocate has compared our prison. Now, the prison at the moment, on B Wing, they will have their meals served to them at the door. They have a toilet, they have washing facilities, they have a television with 10 channels on it. They have their canteen as usual, which was criticised in the television programme. To compare our prison to a concentration camp the day before VE Day.
Concentration camp, not like internment camp. Concentration camp.
No, it says concentration
that's
camp.
motive, isn't it?
That is in the advocate's letter that has gone to the media, and frankly, to compare it to Auschwitz, Belsen, Dachau, the day before VE Day is so disrespectful that I'm almost lost for words, and I probably shouldn't say any more.
Let's go back to the whole issue now, how the new normal is going to be. Do you think every person that comes up to Jurby should have a procedure of being tested, so you know, your staff know exactly, and everybody else knows the actual status of those inmates?
That is absolutely preferable, but there has clearly been a priority of testing of those who are symptomatic. I would love to have them all tested, but the reality is that there are more needy people.
Okay. And I think I asked you this, I mean, could it be compulsory, or would that be another breach of human rights? Would you have to rely on people wanting to be tested?
Almost certainly they would want to be tested with it too, but prisoners are just like ordinary people. I think they would rather know. But the key at the moment is actually making sure that everyone who comes into the jail, a new person, doesn't contaminate the jail. And we will continue doing that because it's the right thing to do.
And of course, ironically, I suppose, in a sense, a lot of people that are coming up to you are breaching the distance rules and going and just socialising with people.
Paul, that's entirely it. They're irresponsible. They're breaking rules. So if you can't get them to do it voluntarily, then we're getting them to do it compulsorily. And you know how strongly I feel about rehabilitation. This isn't about that. This is actually enforcing a period of isolation for the well-being of our community, our island community.
And talk about the staff. I mean, the procedures must be very much more enhanced, with all this PPE, that sort of thing. Have you got enough? Do you need more facilities? And are the staff on your side and supporting you?
The staff have been fantastic. There have been a number that have self-isolated, as in every other profession, but they're turning up every day on the front line. We have sufficient PPE. They're trained in PPE. Our lead nurse, Jane Bloomer, has trained them in it, so we know exactly what we need to do. And there is a big thing about the fact that we hand over a hot meal at the door and a breakfast pack for the following day and a tea meal. That minimises our contact. Why would we be going to the door 3 times to serve meals?
What's the procedure if someone proves test positive on a normal wing? What do you then do? Do you shut everything down and they all become isolation?
Almost certainly we will isolate that person on another wing, probably take them back to B wing, and we will see what contact they have actually had on the wing that they're actually on. Most of them are on A wing now. A wing is pretty much full. We have had prisoners tested, swabbed, taken to hospital, but not a positive from within the prison, the main part of the prison.
And we talked again about there's no visitors at the moment. That must be quite a hardship for people because they haven't got that usual contact.
Absolutely. But we've arranged for in-cell telephony. They're all going to have a phone in their cell. But in addition to that, we've got a version of Skype that we've started this week, which will actually give them time to actually see their relatives. It's particularly difficult, I have to say, for those prisoners from across, because they haven't seen their visitors for quite some time. We did, as you know, try and keep visits. We've only taken things away when we've absolutely had to.
Is there a way forward, like in the shops where they have these screens up? Will you have to look at that as a new normal?
I think there is nothing that is going to be the same again, and we have to look at everything we do. Every procedure has changed in the jail, Paul, and some of it will remain. Some of it, well, I've written to my staff this week, my senior management team, to think about the future, because we get a chance to reinvent the jail again.